In this video, I'm going to show you how to synchronize photographs and music in ProShow Producer. To demonstrate how to do it, I'm going to create a very simple show using some old holiday photographs and a piece of appropriate music. Now, I've already created a blank show and I've given it a title and set the size to 1920 by 1080, which is widescreen high definition. Okay. Right, this could prove to be quite a lengthy video as there's quite a bit involved, so I've decided to make it a bit more easy to follow and divide it into two sections. In the first section, I'm going to show you how to set the slide times and transition times in sync with the music, and then once I've gone right through the show and set all of the slides, I'll go back to the beginning, and for the second part I'll show you how to make each individual slide work in sync with the music. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to add the piece of music. As I say, I've already chosen a piece of appropriate music to go with the pictures, so we drag that down onto the timeline here. As you can see, we can't see much of the waveform, so we need to select timeline, and now we can see all of the waveform. Now, before we do anything else, I'll just go into music, and because we're not having any other sound effects or anything else apart from the music, I'll put those two settings down to 0. Now we're ready to start. Okay, I like to have a show start with a blank slide so that it fades up from black. So what I'm going to do is to drag the music to about a second. It now starts about a second in. I can't actually play the music at the moment because there are no slides in, so we'll add a few blank slides, and I'm now able to play the music. Okay, right, the first thing we need to do before we set anything in sync is to get the first slide with its fade up, and I want it to start to fade where the music starts, so that's where the music starts. Set that line there in line with that, and we should now have it fade up in time with the music. We can't see it because there's no slide in here, so we'll add just the first slide into there. Okay, I'll drag this along a bit so we've got a bit more time to play with, and I will set that slide to fill the screen. And because these pictures are scans of old 3.5 by 5 photographs, they're likely to have ragged edges, so I need to make the size 101% so that it gets rid of any raggedness on the edge. Okay, right, we've now done that, and we can now check the fade up on the beginning. Well, that seemed to work. Now, when we make music and pictures work in sync, we have to find a point for the transition. Now, each piece of music, it doesn't matter whether you're listening to classical music, light music, pop music, any sort of music, it's all divided up into musical phrases. So what we need to do is to find those musical phrases and use them for our slides. So if we now go back to the start and play this piece of music, we will find that somewhere, and it looks by looking at the waveform, as if there's a musical phrase somewhere here. So we'll listen to it. Okay, just listen to the music and watch the pointer as it moves along the top of the timeline. Now I think you can easily hear that there is a phrase. A new phrase begins somewhere here, and I would say probably about there. Okay, let's just check it and see. That to me is the start of a new musical phrase. So we put our transition in here. Now I like to have the transition when it's a fade. It's different when you're using a cut, but when it's a fade, I like the transition to go just into the start of the next phrase. So I would need to put, there's where the phrase starts, and I need to take that just over the phrase, so that the fade out is just finishing its fade as the new phrase starts. Let's play it again and you'll see what I mean. Watch the pointer as it moves across, and also, if it's possible, watch the waveform and you'll see what I mean. Did you see that? Actually, it might need to go back just a touch. Let's watch it again. Okay, that seemed to work. Right, next thing I'm going to do, before I move on, as I said, all of these photographs are very old, and they were processed in one of these 1-hour shops, and the quality of them really isn't desperately good, and they're not at all balanced. In fact, the color balance and the exposures are all over the place, so they all need to be set very slightly. So I'll very quickly just set this one down a little bit. That should do. Okay, and we're now ready to move on to putting the next slide in. I'll just open that up a little bit so that we've got a bit more to play with on the timeline. Right, I've already made a list of slides to put in. It'll save time searching for them. So this is my next one to go in, and I'll just drag that in there. Set it to fill the frame and make it 101 so that we lose any ragged edges. Now that looks okay. I don't think I need to set anything on that. Maybe I'll just take it down, just sit it down just a nudges. There we go. Okay. Now we're ready to listen for the next musical phrase. After hearing the first one, you now know what to listen for. So see if you can work out where the next musical phrase starts. Well, I would say it's there, on that point there. See if you agree. Okay, let's pop it in and see. And extend the transition a bit and see if that seems about right. That seems about right to me. So we've got the second one in. Okay, we can now move this one along. And we'll look for our next photograph, which is number 156, which goes in there. At the moment I'm just putting the photos, the basic background photos in, and I'm not doing anything to them. Eventually, once I've got all of the slides in, we'll go through and set them and add a few effects. Actually, I'll go add quite a few effects, so hopefully you'll find that useful as well. Okay, let's see if we can find the next musical phrase. I'd say it was there. I'll just drag that back and we'll have a look. I think that's where the next phrase starts. Do you agree? I think so. One more time. I think that was right. Amazingly. Okay, let's add a few more blank slides because we're running out. We want to be able to hear the music. Move that along just a bit. Don't know how far yet. And we'll add our next picture, which is number 60 on my list. Go through and find number 60. Where is it? There it is. Okay. We're now going to have to set it again. The usual thing, make it fill the frame and make that 101% so that we don't get any ragged edges. I think that's okay. Doesn't need sitting down just a tad? Yeah, let's sit it down a bit and see. No, I don't want to lose the blacks. Okay. Right. Now, for some reason, (101). What's happened there? Ah, I don't know how that happened, but we had a 5% tilt applied, as if by magic. Okay, we'll ignore that. And we'll look for the next musical phrase. Here was the last one, and we'll go through and find the next one. There it is on that peak there. So we need to move our transition down to that peak, slightly past it, and set the length of this, I would think, about somewhere there, on that peak there. Have a listen. Seems alright to me. Okay, now we'll add another one. As I say, this takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, that last one was number 60, so we want number 201 next. 201. If you're wondering how I managed to come by the order of the photographs, what I've done is I've started down. This is in a town in southern Portugal called Lagos. And I've started down by the waterfront, walk up through the town, up the hill to where I stayed in my apartment, and then back down through the town to the waterfront again. So there is actually a structure to the show. Now, having looked at this photograph, I noticed there, look, a nasty black edge at a funny angle. So we need to set that to fill the frame. It's still there, look, just there, so we need to make that about 105, and it's gone. Okay, we're back to where we should be, so we can play that now and find the next musical phrase. I'd say it was on that peak there, which is 105, 107. That peak there. Let me have a look, yes. Where do they want to put that? About there. Let's try it and see. See if it sounds right. Actually, that needs to be slightly shorter so that it goes on the phrase. Starts to fade on the phrase. And that seemed to work. Good. So we can move on now to our next photograph, which is that one. And we'll set it to fill frame, make it 101 so we don't have any ragged edges. That looks a little bit dark, so let's just try and lift that a tad. Oh, too much. Okay, I think that'll be okay. Still see a little bit of detail in the blacks. Right, let's find the next musical phrase. I think it's there. I think, do you agree? That's about 117. Let's have a listen to that. I'm not sure about this one. Not totally sure of this one. Let's move it back a bit and see if it might be better there. I'm just checking my list. No, I was right the first time. It's about there. See, it isn't an exact science, this. It's a matter of fiddling until you get it right. That's better, but it needs to be slightly shorter. The actual transition needs to be shorter. Okay, let's try it. Right, I'm happy with that now. Good. Let's add a couple more blank slides while we're here and find our next picture, which is 017, I think. There it is. Pop that one in there. Make it a little bit longer so we can find the phrase in a moment. And we'll just go and set it to fill the screen. Looks okay. Make it 101. I think that needs to be set down a little bit. That's better. Okay, now we're in a position to find the next phrase. Right. Listen to it through again. Not quite sure about this one. Right, that's where it is, there. So we'll put that to there and extend the actual transition time to about there and listen to it, make sure it's okay. I would say that was good. Excellent, we're getting there. This is slide 9. And slide 9 is 164, photo number 164, which is that one. And we'll set it to fill the frame. Edges don't look too bad, but we'll make it 101. And I think, yes, I can see all the detail in the blacks. That one's okay. And we'll find it's there. that point there. Slightly past it. Let's have a listen and see what it sounds like. I think that's okay. I'm not sure about the start of the fade on that, so let's just see it again. I think that was okay. What do you reckon? Hopefully that'll be alright. Good. We're getting there, you see. So we want our next one, which is slide number 10, which is number 139, which is that one. Oh, we're going to have a bit of fun with this effect later on. I think you might enjoy this one. Okay. Right. Layer settings. It's a bit repetitive, this, but as I say, it's well worth doing. Okay, we don't need to set that. That looks okay. And we'll play it and find the musical phrase in which to fade it out. Almost in the right place. That's an amazing coincidence. Just back a tad, I think. Right, let's just check it. I'd say that was okay. Right, a few more blank slides. Drag that along. Are you getting the knack of this? Are you working out what we're doing? Okay, now we want slide number 11, which is number 169. Where's 169? There it is. Okay. Set that again to 101. And we're now ready to find the musical phrase to fit it to. There, that peak there. Good. Set that to about that peak there. What's the next one? It's on number 12. Just check it first. Hang on. Yep, that's good. Okay. Slide number 12 is 172, which is that one. This is actually a group of 3 slides here together of people in the town. Right. Set the scaling to fill frame and then make that 101. And now we can find the musical phrase. And it's on that peak just there, which is exactly where it happens to be. That was, this is getting a bit too good to be true. Right. Okay, that works. So slide 12. Sorry, slide 13. 135. Where's 135? There it is. Drag that one down and pop it in there. And we'll set that again. Fill the frame. Make it 101. Maybe that does need to be sat down just a touch. Just a touch. Okay. Okay, now let's find a phrase to put it on. It's not far off, is it? Really not far off. Let's extend the transition time a bit and listen to it and see what it looks like. Actually, it needs to go to that peak there. I'd say it works. Good. We are nearly through them. We've nearly got all the slides in place. And then we can go through and start setting the individual slides in sync with the music. Right, what are we looking for now? Slide 14, which is 2 and 6. Right, no, it's 2, 6, 1. Oh, there it is. I could find it for a moment. Okay. Set that one. It looks as if it might have a dodgy edge. I don't know. Let's have a look and see. No, it's okay. This one certainly needs a little bit of help. We can take that down. A bit of a white point out of it. Okay. Yep, that looks a bit better. This is actually the view from the apartment I stay in. Rather a nice little apartment. Okay, number 14. And let's play it and see where its phrase is. Easy one to find. It's just at the start, the end of that trough, that little trough there. So we'll put that just to the right of that trough and extend that open to somewhere there. Let's see what it sounds like. Good, that one worked. Let's just add 1 or 2 more blank slides. I don't think we've got many more to put in. Oh, it's gone too far. Okay, now that was slide 14. This one is slide 15. And then we want number 173. There we go. Drag that along there somewhere. Again, we'll set the scaling to fill the frame. Check the edges. Yep, they look okay. Make it 101. And we'll play it and find out where it's got to fade. There on that peak. I'd say that was about right. Yeah, that's about it. Good. Excellent. The next one is slide number 16, which I look at my list and it's number 192. Hope you're not getting bored with this, but it certainly should be showing you how to set the timing. Right. Layer setting. Edges look okay. Make it 101. Okay, and we'll find the phrase for this one. There on that little tiny peak there. I think that's the position. So we'll put that there and move that to the next peak there. And let's just check it. Seems about right. Good. So what I haven't done for a while, and let's click on save, just in case anything silly should happen. Slide 17, we're nearly there, we've nearly finished, 189. There we go. Layer settings, make it fill the frame, edges look okay, but we'll still make it 101. Now, does that need to be just a tad brighter? Okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right, let's see if we can find a phrase to put it in. Yeah, it's there. So we'll just drag that to there. Move that out to that peak. Let's have a look. See what it sounds like, what it looks like. I'd say that was good. Excellent. We've got a couple more. Number 18 is 156. No, it's not. Number 18. 056. Move that along a bit. Layer settings. Fill frame. Check the edges. Don't look too bad, so we'll make that 101. This one looks very dark. Let's try adding a bit of brightness to it. That looks a bit better. See what that looks like. Let's check it. It's not a very good photograph, but never mind. Okay, let's find a musical phrase to put it in. It's got to be on that peak there. And move that just past the peak and extend this out. See what it sounds like. I'd say that was okay. Now this one here is the last one. We know that's got to go to the end of the music, and the picture that goes in there is number 59, which is this one. And we'll do as we've done all the way through, set it to fill frame and make it 101. This one certainly needs adjusting. It looks very washed out, so we'll make it, sit it down just a little bit. Can we still see the blacks? Yes, I think so. Good. Okay. All we've got to do now is just add one blank on the end so that there's a little bit of blackness on the end of the video. And we should be there. Okay.